What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode number 475 of the Smark Out Moments Smack Talk podcast, Hot Tags of the Week, where we'll be breaking down some of the current events and rumors and news and gossip and trademarks and other kinds of things that we want to talk about that's happened in the world of pro wrestling over the past few days. I should just add trademarks as a regular thing because it seems like that's like a weekly thing at this point. I'm your host as always, Tony Mango, and your host as always, joining me is Robert E. Felice.
Now, Tony, do you own my real name and likeness?
I hope so.
Well, dude, do I owe you money? Wait a minute.
That's you're gonna find a subscription to Patreon just popped out of nowhere one day. You're gonna be like, hey, I didn't do that. But you should. So if you are interested, patreon.com/smarkoutmoment if you want to help us grow. That would be greatly appreciated, even if it's $1. $10 and up gives you access to the dark casts that are Patreon exclusive. And we recently did one of those. So go ahead and check that out. We're gonna do another one pretty soon too. And actually maybe even a third one for this month. Hopefully trying to get some more, trying to pump out as much podcasts as we possibly can.
We're really pumping out some content this year already.
We really are. We did the AEW award thing.
Right.
Not the AEW award thing. That's what it was. That's what it was labeled as, right? AEW award thing of thing. Something, that's what it would have been great. No, we've done some different things here and there. We are going to do one for the Paul Heyman SmackDown podcast coming up. So, it's something to pay attention to. But obviously, that's only if you have the funds. If you do have the funds and you want to help out in some other ways, some of these, the other ways to do that is merchandise shops, TeePublic and Redbubble. Check them out for Smark Out Moment, Mango Tees, and Fanboys Anonymous. Hit the applause button on this video on YouTube. Hit the join button as well. If you're over on YouTube, why don't you leave us a comment? You don't have to pay for that. That's something that is great. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about these topics, and I want to know more about what you want to talk about. So go ahead and do that. And again, of course, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit that button, hit the little notification bell. Once you ring that, you'll know when we go live for certain things. Like in the next couple of weeks, we're going to do the Q1 mailbag. So start thinking about some questions. We're going to try to do that live again, the way that we've been doing that. I'm currently in the process of setting up a new computer, so I got to make sure that I get that set up before we do that. We've got plenty of different things happening, and that'll give you some kind of an email alert for you to be able to know when these videos go up, and that way you can jump on them as quickly as possible. Not that there's like a timer. It's not like Mission Impossible or something, but hit the like button as well on this video too if you like it, because that helps out quite a bit. And hit the share button too. Anyway, plugs. Some of those are out of the way. That was pretty quick. Let's start getting into some of these topics here. Let's just talk about these trademarks, because these trademarks are all over the place. We do know two of them for sure now, which are Katrina Cortez and Valentina Feroz. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly or not. It might be Feroz or Feroz or something. But Valentina is the new name for Rita. I kept saying Rita Reis, but I asked...
Rita Reis, I thought.
Apparently it's Heish. I asked Caroline, I was like, how would you pronounce this? And she's like, oh, it's Heish. I'm like, okay. So Rita Heish is now Valentina Feroz.
Is she Brazilian?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I guess that's a wrap, folks.
And Carolina Garcia, who went by Catalina.
Hold on a minute here. We had the return of Tony's favorite wrestler of 2019, Catalina, who is now Katrina.
Katrina Cortez. I wasn't too sure if it was her or not. I thought that it was, but I figured that it would be kind of weird if they didn't have like any kind of mention of who she was or whatever. But I guess they were just sort of like, you don't remember, whereas we do.
We were all over the place. I was trying to figure out who it was. I thought it might have been
Zeuxis, Shoshana.
Because Catalina last year, or I guess 2 years ago, was small, and she really bulked out. I like it. I'm okay with it. She's gonna be team. I shouldn't say that. Like I know it, but she could potentially team with Valentina in the NXT Women's Dusty Classic.
We're gonna talk about that a little bit later on for sure.
I'll save it for later.
Because I actually even wrote up an article about that. Not fully about that, but about some other things. So we know what those trademarks are. Now we know to a certain extent what some of these are, but we really don't for some of them.
Hold
So
on, let's just get this out of the way here. They trademarked about 9 trademarks that were just Chinese characters. They're
yeah,
just
and
Chinese symbols.
there's
And
no way I'm
hold
pronouncing
on,
this correctly.
I'm not going to allow you to. They trademarked several seemingly Chinese names,
Oh, I'm gonna try.
like a like a New Wu or Shou. It's like I believe Shang Lin is one of them.
So there's the hand. I can pronounce that right. Unless that's not pronounced right, and then fuck me, right? If that's not pronounced the hand. So then there's SHOU, which is either Shu or Shao or Show
I'm going with
or
Shou.
David. I don't know. I think that means the same thing or something, doesn't it? As the hand, isn't that one of those? Like that's the character for that or something.
Well, I know that one of the characters translates to the hand.
It sounds like it's just like, why didn't these guys do their research? I don't know Chinese, that's why. So it's too hard for me. Sorry, but I've seen on some websites it's Shi Gun, and on some it's Shi Hun. It's SHI and then either GUN or HUN.
It's HUN.
It's the HUN one, not the GUN.
It's HUN, yeah.
So Shihun or Shihun.
Go directly to the source, guys, because sometimes aggregates can make typos. I've been guilty of it. Go directly to
Timothy
the source.
Batchelor.
Well, let's just go right there, shall we?
There's Shi Zui. I'm guessing that's how you spell it. It's the SHI, but then there's ZUI. There's Tian Sha. Might be pronouncing that one right. And we did see that pop up on the screen with Xia Li. So that might be the name of the group. But then again, you would think that they would be called the Hand. Then there's the Witch.
Well, no, because here's the deal. They trademark so many fucking terms that, like, the witch has to be the woman.
Right.
The Hand could be the wise old man. Maybe it's Boa. Boa looks like he's in the Matrix.
That's true. He's very the Man from Nowhere.
This was very good.
Is that the movie, The Man from Nowhere? South Korean movie? It's pretty good. Now I'm curious. I don't want to make I was gonna say I don't want to make an ass of myself as if I haven't already. Man from Nowhere. Let's see. That is the movie that I was talking about. Yeah, Korean film. Good. I liked it. I would recommend it for anybody who's interested in Korean cinema. As if I'm some big friggin' source of that. There's The Bridge.
I dig it.
Diamond Mine. But not mine. So it's like Diamond Mine for what? Like did they have like I don't know, like
well, this doesn't necessarily have to all be pertaining to the thing. To the NXT stable with Xia Li and Boa.
Yeah, it might be maybe like Diamond Mine is the new name for Brianna Brandy.
I like Malcolm Bivens' group. Call him the Diamond Mine.
There's New Wu. There's Shiyu, I think it's what it is. QIU YUE. There's Quan Tuo. No way I'm pronouncing this one right. Qiao Liang. QIAOLIANG and G Lu. And the Covenanter, which is like that's not catchy at all.
That's got to be the old man.
The Covenanter. That's terrible. Like Diamond Mine. Okay, let's see what happens. The Witch.
I like the name Diamond Mine.
And all these like Tian, Sha, whatever. Like I don't know what they mean, so I can't really comment on them. But like the Covenanter, that's like there's we're starting a
fucking
a podcast about that we're going to be doing. You guys are going to be hearing it soon of going over the James Bond films, and there's like not an offshoot. You wouldn't even call it a parody either, but like a copy of like the whole like let's try to do our own James Bond called The Liquidator, and it's like that just doesn't sound all that impressive. It's a great song though. Shirley Bassey does it.
So there's all those things.
There's also MSK.
No idea what the fuck that is.
And then there's two that I'm pretty sure we know what they are, which is Nash Carter and Wes Lee. They gotta be Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, right?
Have they not named them yet?
They've never dropped their names.
Have they not just said it's Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake?
Nope.
I'm certain that Corey had to call them out on it.
Even if they did, I'm positive at this point that it's going to be like King Corbin's associates, Nash Carter and Wes Lee, because Wesley Blake, Wes Lee, and Nash Carter definitely seems like something that Steve Cutler would want to call himself.
But there's also Zachary Wentz and Desmond Xavier. I can see Desmond Xavier being I can see Wentz being a Wes Lee. I don't know if Desmond Xavier would be good being Nash Carter, but
I got to assume it's the Forgotten Sons.
I'm looking now. Yeah, they're still in the roster as Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake.
I think it's just because they didn't change it.
That could always be.
So those are all like, I don't know the last time that they would have done this where they were just like, let's just trademark every possible variation of all this kind of stuff. There can't be, for instance, that many new signings from China, right?
They have to know what they're doing here. I'm so excited to find out.
Because it seems like it's from China. Now, to be honest, I'm a little ignorant of like New Wu might read more as like a Japanese type of thing or something. I don't think so. Based off of the fact that we know some of these are flat out Chinese characters
Chinese
and everything.
Symbols, yeah.
But, maybe one of these in the mix is something elsewhere. But it seems like it would be revolving around the Xia Li thing. And we have seen Tian pop up on the screen. So that's at least pointing in that direction. But that seems crazy to be like, they're still calling them Boa and Xia Li. So you can't even say that they've been rechristened like Shihun and Jilu or something. That's just nuts. There's like 19 trademarks going on right now. And I have no idea what the hell any of them are for.
And MSK was trademarked separate from all those on January 4th. No idea what the fuck MSK is. And you want some breaking news? On January 5th, they trademarked, these are far less exciting, Shaw Samuels, Leon Ruff, and Dabakato.
Yeah, Shaw Samuels is somebody that I didn't even know was, I guess, a part of the roster now. Tony Gill, apparently on the roster now.
Is that like a 1990s WWF jobber?
It's somebody who, I think he was in Impact or something. They have a Gurvinder Singh and a Gursinder Singh. So I keep getting confused because it's like, goddamn, that's like basically like Bob Williams and Bobby Williams or something. Like it's so close. Actually, that's it's closer than even that is because there's only one letter off. So they are definitely changing some names around, and they do that, from time to time. They switch around like NXT names, and they like owning the trademarks to these names. So not too surprised about that. I'm just really surprised about how many of these Chinese trademarks
that they've actually done. I don't know what they have planned, but I'm so curious.
Yeah. I'd love to hear some speculation though. Drop them in the comments below. What do you think like Diamond Mine is going to turn out to be, or the bridge? Like the bridge? Okay. Might be cool. Sometimes they do something that's sounds a little bit blah and then ends up being cool. Sometimes they do something that is blah and it ends up being blah, like the mechanics.
Yeah, wasn't great.
Yeah, not a big fan of that. I remember when they trademarked the Revival, I'm like, oh, is this going to be like a pay-per-view or, and it's like, no, it's
tag team.
Dash and Dawson for some reason. Let's talk about the fact that there's not only the trademark stuff going on, but there's copyright stuff when it comes to music to talk about. People are like, "Oh my god, this podcast is only going to be about legal stuff." No, it isn't. But AEW has some new entrance music for Jungle Boy because Tony Khan bought the rights to be able to use the song Tarzan Boy, which is so perfect.
It's so good.
I thought that it was a rib at first when they started playing it on Dark, because I'm like, oh, it's Dark. They fuck around, like you
I
listen to
love it.
Taz on commentary and they're constantly fucking around. And I'm like, that they can't be really playing Tarzan Boy. It's got to be like the first couple notes or something just to kind of, whatever. And they played the whole song. And I'm like, I've always liked the song. And so I already like the fact that that's a song that they're going to use. But I'm like, it's Tarzan Boy and it's Jungle Boy. And it's got this good opening that like do 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 kind of thing. So it's got the good thing that I like with theme
People will
songs.
get so into that opening.
Yeah, everybody's going to start going, oh. Big fan of the song. Big fan of them using that for Jungle Boy.
Big fan of the 80s. Am I right? Like,
A lot of good stuff in the 80s. A lot of bad stuff,
a lot
but
of bad stuff, but like a lot of
seems
good
like seems like I would trade that for the stuff we've got going on these days,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe people like tasing themselves in the balls or something. But big fan of this switch. He also said that he had bought the rights to the song that they used in the Brody Lee tribute. He brought that in perpetuity. So they're not gonna have to worry about needing to get a new song for that kind of footage, which is good.
That's awesome. That's how these things should be done.
And since we had gotten the news that the TNT Championship title design, not the title itself, but the design was being retired in honor of Brody Lee, we didn't know exactly what they were going to change. And it seems, at least for now, that all they're changing is the strap. And they've made it a black strap. And it is so much better.
Yep.
It's
I
just,
love it.
it's the same thing I've been saying about all of these championships. Black
Hey, maybe
straps
they
look
shouldn't have
better.
gone for the red strap just to be like, hey, it's the TV title like the 80s.
Yeah, I don't like the multicolored strap stuff going on. The white looks good on some belts. Most belts probably would look good with the white. But I never liked, for instance, Warrior's yellow belt or purple belt. And it's weird to see like Sergeant Slaughter holding the purple belt, for instance. I'll talk
Yeah,
about
that's
that
right.
when we get into the Royal Rumble 1991. We're going to do a podcast about that later on this month.
Hell yeah.
And I never liked the red strap for the TNT Championship, so I am a huge fan of them switching it over to the black.
Yeah. And if it's Darby Allin, better.
Yeah, that too. Not that it wouldn't help with everybody else, but the fact that he's got this whole dark aesthetic, carrying around that red championship wouldn't really look all that great. I like the black thing. I think that that's a good step. I would have been okay if they would have done a completely different design. But I see they put a lot of effort into doing this already, and it's pretty recent, so. Black strap is a thumbs up for me. They get to retire a variation of that in honor of him, and they get to upgrade the championship. So I'm like, this is...
I just want let's talk a little bit about the awesome stuff that they've done for Brody Jr. There's the contract. Like, of course, it only goes into effect when he turns 18 if he wants to be a wrestler. And it's so cool of them to do that because now he can always say he's working towards that. Um, he went training with I think it was at Natty and TJ's place, and
yeah, with Liv Morgan
with
and I forget who else.
Davey Boy Smith Jr. was watching on the outside. I thought that was really cool. He got to have a promo with Marco Stunt on Dark. Like, it's all great. I'm such a big fan of what they've done for this child.
He cut that promo. He cut a promo against Luther, which was great, where he's like, you think you're like tough because you got a stupid red dot on your head and all this. It's like, give that kid the belt. I mean, they did, but you know what I mean. -1's cool. I like -1.
He's clearly becoming one of the best wrestlers.
Just period. I thought you were gonna follow that up with something.
No. I said what I said. He's passionate. He wants to do it. I'm all for it.
I love seeing like footage of him like hitting Rusev with a Singapore cane backstage and like
And Rusev's just like, oh, not bad. Do it again.
pinning Adam Cole.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Wrestling can be cool sometimes.
Let's talk about this. These two things that they mentioned on NXT, because we had New Year's Evil. So let's talk about New Year's Evil. Let's just see what we're gonna run down there. Damian Priest. There's an R in it, not Damian Priest. Damian Priest lost to Karrion Kross, and there's been talk that he was supposed to come up to SmackDown last week and tag with Kevin Owens for seemingly no reason. And
They
thankfully,
do that all the time.
they thought about it ahead of time and said, this makes no sense, and shot it down.
That's literally how they debuted Ember Moon.
Who did she team with?
Nia.
Nia, right? Yeah. So I don't know why they think that that's a good idea for those things, and then it doesn't go anywhere. Like, at least with Nia and Ember for a couple weeks, it seemed like they might form a tag team. That wasn't going to be the case with Kevin Owens and Damian Priest. Kevin Owens even pointed out, he's like, we have got nothing in common. Like, why would we be a tag team? I hope that wasn't like a shot against Priest, and more so just he's got a completely different character. We wouldn't mesh, you know?
I don't mind the idea of Priest versus Roman.
Yeah, I actually thought that he might become a surprise person for that gauntlet match that was tonight.
Amazing.
Which we'll be talking about that for sure.
Oh yeah.
So Karrion Kross beat Damian Priest, and it seems
I hate his finisher. I hate that forearm. I hope it's a one and done.
I actually don't even remember it, honestly.
Imagine Lex Luger's running forearm, but it's not Lex Luger.
So it's like not the total package.
It's not the total package.
It's just, half the package.
A package.
Maybe you should call it suspicious package or something, like just some other kind of idiom or something. What other package has been delivered? One of those kind of
I almost said carrier pigeon. Just move on.
He's got carry on, so it's you get to carry on when you go into like airports, and that's a package of sorts.
Okay, we're off the rails.
No, we're gonna get even more off the rails because I'm sticking to this. He could be. You need a character, all right? So you have like a UPS delivery guy, and when they hit their finisher, they say that the package has been delivered, but when they're about to hit it, they go, "You need to sign for this," and then they hit the package. Or they can hit them with the delivery fee.
They don't make anybody sign for packages anymore.
Yeah, that's why it wouldn't work. That's the one reason why it wouldn't work. I know, I hate me too, but everybody in the comments, I know. I say go ahead and do it. See, this is what you would get if I wasn't creative. At least one character might do that at some point, even if it was like a
You would just bring back the occupational gimmicks.
I'd be lying if I didn't say that there were notes in my files of occupation gimmick characters that they could create, including a character that could be very like a pro surfer and have moves like the Hang 10.
Ridiculous.
So we got some announced teams for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It seems like it's all over the place, though. They announced like 6, and then 7, and then 8. And then now it says it might be 16, but they've announced 12.
They've announced 11.
It was 12 the last time I checked.
I counted 11 this morning.
But I've lost track. So at the very least, we know it's Everrise, Breezango, the Undisputed Eras, Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong. Drake Maverick and Killian Dane, Kurt Stallion and August Gray, Grizzled Young Veterans, Imperium. Later on, they announced Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory are going to represent The Way. It seems like Legado del Fantasma is in there. Who else am I forgetting?
I'm going to pull up the full list.
Because there was like 12 or so, the last that I had double-checked.
1, 2, there's Maverick and Dane.
Yeah, I said them.
Hold on. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I'm counting 12. Fuck off.
So the other one I missed were Kushida and Leon Ruff, and Jake Atlas and Isaiah Swerve Scott.
And that piggybacks off of an announcement on 205 Live that this 205 Live is actually going to matter, folks, because you're going to host some of these matches.
Which to me, I'm assuming is going to be mostly like Legato against Atlas and Scott, and obviously like 205 Live needs to be the 205 Live people.
Boys against Reis for the 50th time.
Yeah, and they fought Gray and Stallion tonight, which is like, wouldn't that just be the first round? You know, whatever. I am assuming, of course, at this point that unless some kind of special team gets brought in, like an induced share, or
okay, you're gonna need 4 more teams. Either way you go with this.
So who else could we have for these teams? They're definitely just pairing up some random ass people at this point.
Well, you're gonna have the Rascals, I think. So, whatever Zachary Wentz and Desmond Xavier are called, that'll be them.
We could get Lucha House Party because they've popped up here and there in NXT recently.
Oh, that's happening. So that's 14. Okay, we need 2 more teams.
They already have Atlas and Kushida and Scott, so those can't be in there. I almost pulled a Michael Douglas and Ant-Man there when I said Scott. Scott.
Is Cameron Grimes hurt?
He hasn't been around for a while, yeah. I don't know.
If he's healthy, then Grimes and Loomis.
Cameron Grimes. You would assume I would assume at the very least that the NXT UK side isn't going to be a part of this. So no Mustache Mountain, no South Wales Subculture, no Hunt, no Pretty Deadly.
That's a damn shame. Those boys are pretty.
Timothy Thatcher is not injured, correct?
He is. No, he is.
That's a legit injury? I thought it was a fake one.
Listen, I don't... All right.
Listen, I don't know.
I'll explain this to you the way it was explained to me. One website wanted me to write it up. The other said, they said he was injured. He's injured. If it's a storyline, there's no need to write it up. Meltzer presented it like it was real. Johnson presented it like it wasn't. I am in the middle. I just want Timothy Thatcher to come back so we can do this fight pit.
So if he's not injured, maybe he teams up with somebody at some point. Maybe they team up like Tony Nese and Arya Daivari because they've been hanging around each other quite a bit.
Why do you want to see more 205 Live teams?
I don't. I'm just trying to think of the people that they could use.
Bronson Reed and Babatunde are right there. The big thick boys. That's what we need, okay?
And then we could say, well, one of them's big and one of them's thick, and some other people aren't. That could be the commentary for that. I'm still working under the assumption that the winning team's going to be either Undisputed Era or Grizzled Young Veterans.
Unless they really want to put the Rascals over. I want to go with the Undisputed Era. Just because I love them. You know, like, if you've listened to this podcast for any length of time, you know that I love the Undisputed Era. I think they're great.
They're my number one team right now. I do think that they're most likely going to be the ones that win. Because it's easy. You know, they fight Lorcan and Birch, and then somebody like Grizzled Young Veterans can be the next in line, you know? But they also announced that there's going to be a women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And
stop it right there. Why is this not called the Jumping Bomb Angels Invitational?
I don't think you want to put bomb out there these days.
Listen, that was pre that. Okay. Why is this not called the Jumping Bomb Angels Invitational?
Do you think that they really would go with the Jumping Bomb Angels and not the Bella Twins Invitational?
Well, if you're gonna go with the Bella Twins, it's got to be the
Bella the Ball.
I really wanted to go with Bella the Ball.
That would be Bella the Brawl.
Oh, it's so good.
It would be better if JR were to announce it. But That's a thing. We don't know any of the teams. We don't know when it's going to happen.
Oh, let's speculate.
I mean, we know 2 of the teams pretty much for sure. It's Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and then it's Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae.
I'm going
Oh, we also have the Kaden Carter and Casey Catanzaro, the Spitfire Warriors.
correct. I'm going to throw out there that you do something like Shotzi and Ember.
Yep.
I'm gonna suggest that, well, the Riot Squad are on loan from SmackDown because they talked about this depth, right? This female roster depth. And then I'm like, I don't see it.
NXT's got a good roster, but they don't have the tag teams.
They don't
Like,
have
who's Tony Storm going to team up with?
not Ember Moon, that's for sure.
Yeah. We know that Aaliyah and Robert Stone have already tweeted out that they're looking for somebody to team with. And Shotzi suggested Skylar Story, Brandy Lauren, and then said the reason why is because she wants to be able to beat them both up. And Robert Stone replied something like, Shotzi, call me up, boo, or something. Like, so we might get Born and Bougie.
Finally change her name to Skylar Story on social.
I'm assuming she's a part of it. And she's either Aaliyah's partner or she's going to team up with, like, I don't know, Jessica Mia or something. But she could team up with Vanessa Bourne and bring back the Born and Bougie thing.
Well, put Story with somebody immediately and make her a thing. You know, like, why wait?
There's a Mercedes Martinez. She might be a part of it in some fashion.
She ain't teaming with shit. She going after that belt. That's all she's doing.
Seems like that would be the case, and it seems like that would probably happen at the next TakeOver, which is happening on February 14th.
Oh, hold on, because one more team that has to be this thing. Where are Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke?
Yeah, you know what? They definitely need to be a part of this. They should win it, for that matter. If you really want to do something with them.
Shit. They should wreck shit. Totally.
Have them win it. Have them be the ones that can challenge Asuka and Charlotte. And have Shayna Baszler screw Asuka and Charlotte on behalf of Duke and Shafir.
And then they're a team. And we don't have to ask, well, what are they doing?
Yeah. What are they doing on Raw? Why are there so many ostriches? Or whatever the hell that thing was. Oh, we also, of course, we mentioned it earlier, Valentina and Katrina. Seems like they would be an obvious team.
I'm just going to look at the Performance Center roster right quick.
I would assume Xia Li is not going to team up with the woman that we don't know the name of yet, the witch or whatever. Just because it seems like if they build her up like that, then they're going to have them win.
That's a safe bet.
Then again, maybe that's the point. I don't know. Xia Li, though, she beat Katrina Cortez, and I am such a big fan of Xia Li. Like, she's great.
Yeah, it was worth the wait.
Boa looks cool. You mentioned him earlier, looking like a Matrix character or something. Seraph, I think, was a character in. Maybe he's wearing white though. Maybe they'll put him in a white outfit.
There's Brianna Brandy. She should do something.
There's Emily Anzulis. She's Ivy Nile, I think is her name now.
I hear you say that name all the time,
and there's
all the time I'm just like, who?
She's a blonde girl. She popped up in Raw Underground like twice. There's Anrielle Howard. It's a name that I remember coming across recently that they signed not too long ago. Simone Johnson, of course, if she's able to.
Just put her in the ring already.
Well, last time I checked, she had like an arm injury or something. So she might still be injured. And we still haven't seen Sarii yet. I think she's still in Japan or wherever she is.
Yeah.
But that's happening at some point. They didn't say when. Seems like it probably would be later on in the year, maybe, or something. Or maybe it's just going to happen afterward. Like, maybe they're going to do the men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and then just move on to the women's. It's weird that they would announce it now, though. You know?
Yeah.
I would think that if it's going to take place a while later, that they would have been better off waiting until the end of this tournament. and just been like, all right, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is over, but that's not the only one you're going to get this year because we're going to do a women's one in the next couple weeks, or you know what I mean? Like, so I'm curious where they're going with that.
I would like to see it just happen immediately. You can
Yeah,
never
just do
have too
both at the
much.
same time. Why not?
You can never have too much women's wrestling. I'm not like, well, like obviously I watch all wrestling, but I like women's wrestling.
I like it when it's good, just the same as everything else. I like good things. I don't like bad things. I'm very
What a
fair.
philosophy.
Raquel Gonzalez be Rhea Ripley. Last one was standing match. Seems like Rhea Ripley is more and more likely to go up to the main roster. Same with Damian Priest. We didn't really talk about it. The NXT TakeOver event, February 14th. They need to call this St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
NXT TakeOver St. Valentine's Day Massacre. That's it. It's a
Absolutely.
mouthful. But
yeah.
like, whatever.
WWE presents NXT TakeOver St. Valentine's Day Massacre. 2021. It's just for the sake of adding it in there.
I would do it.
By the way, not going to talk about anything on NXT UK. Ben Carter popped up. He lost a Cruiserweight title match. That's it.
Mistake. And I won't get into it because Tony already cut me off. But hey, Ginny won.
Yeah, somehow that's the thing.
But yeah, no, it's good because it means we won't see Piper Niven face Kaylee Ray for the 50th time.
And we still have Finn Balor as champion because he beat Kyle O'Reilly. So not too shocked about that. So on the NXT side of things, the TakeOver thing, that's one thing that obviously we're going to talk about at another point when we get a little bit closer to that. I'm assuming right now, at the very least, that the most likely lineup of things we're going to get is the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic or the tag team title match. One or the other, kind of depends. Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross. Io Shirai versus Mercedes Martinez. And then 2 more matches.
Either way, it'll be good.
Should be.
It's NXT, which will not have a presence on Royal Rumble weekend, and I'm okay with that.
Outside of the fact that some people in NXT are going to be in it.
Nah, well, will they really be from NXT at that point?
That's true. Well, they'll pitch it as like, that's Damian Priest from NXT. Look at him get eliminated. Because that's basically what they do.
You know what? I'm gonna take charge here. Let's talk about Switchblade.
Jay White.
Jay White.
Teasing at the very least that he doesn't want to be wrestling for New Japan anymore. And I just assumed. Now I didn't watch much of Wrestle Kingdom. Both nights I forgot what time it started.
You should have called me, Tony.
And
I was up. I was watching.
Both nights at 5:20 something in the morning, I was like, oh shit, Wrestle Kingdom. And so I watched the Jay White match and I watched the Ibushi and Naito match and the latter half of the Osprey match. And what else did I see?
You saw some good stuff.
I don't think that was it, but I honestly I can't remember what else that I would have seen.
You saw the juniors match, Takahashi against Ishimori.
Nope.
And maybe you don't know their name.
No, I definitely didn't see it.
Well, the important thing is the Jay White situation. Jay White wrestled for 48 minutes. The longest match in the history of Wrestle Kingdom. Longer than Kenny and Okada.
Now, crazy that Ibushi had wrestled for 30-something minutes beforehand, I think. The night before?
The night before, yeah.
So, Ibushi, madman.
Iron Man. Jay White, look, he's good in New Japan. If he wants to stay there, stay there. He'll be so good for AEW. If he wants to go there, please go there. He's the surprise the Royal Rumble needs. And I'm going to go a step further. Should he enter the Royal Rumble, he should win.
And challenge Drew McIntyre?
Absolutely.
Because obviously it's not Roman Reigns.
Absolutely.
I want Jay White in WWE. I know he could be more of himself in AEW, but at this point, AEW has had a couple people that I feel like they haven't done as good of a job with as they think that they could have. Like Brian Cage, for instance. And there's enough people in AEW right now that I feel need to move up to that next level. That if Jay White goes there, it's just going to be one more person that's fighting for that. Whereas with WWE, I'm like, yeah, people are kind of like stuck in their positions. Let's get a new guy. What I've seen of him, I like.
He's so good. His
And
character work is so good.
he's like 28 or something.
Probably.
So that's like, you don't got to worry about that, Obviously, he's not like Tyler Bate, where he's like, 12 or whatever. Tyler Bate. How old's Tyler Bate now?
21.
Crazy. Kid. It's a kid. I hate that I can say that. God, I'm so old. The 28-year-old thing with Jay White means that he's got a bright future.
Yeah.
And if he comes to WWE, I mean, I know that there's part of me that goes, well, maybe he should go through the NXT system and then he can make a big deal. But you know what? He's good enough that he doesn't need to.
I'm sorry. If you wrestle 48 minutes in the Tokyo Dome, you ain't going to NXT. That is a disservice. Go to WrestleMania. Jay White should be the first person in the history of wrestling to main event Wrestle Kingdom and then main event Mania.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I mean, listen, unless you have The Rock right now, like, this might be the one guy who can cause Roman Reigns to not main event.
Well, there's Vince McMahon. He's a guy that could cause him not to.
he could as well.
Or there's Adam Pearce. We'll talk about I'll talk about that in a little bit. When I had first seen this report about Jay White, I misread the post. I think it was Wrestling Inc. Shout out to them. I read it as Jay. Shout out to everybody. Okay, you listening? Shout out to you too. I misread it as Jay Lethal, and I was like, Jay Lethal might come to WWE. They waited long enough. I guess he'll probably pop up in NXT, and he'll probably be, one of those like, you're an old talent, but you can work with a lot of other people, whatever. Then I'm like, why is it saying about New Japan? And I'm like, oh shit, it says Jay White. Oh shit, no, it's even better, because it's like, then you're not getting somebody who's on that veteran side like that. You're getting somebody who's like in their prime. Or hasn't even reached prime, maybe even necessarily. So I'm all for this idea of Jay White coming to WWE. I like that WrestleVotes, which is always reliable, had put out something about it being game time. Kind of makes you think that it's Triple H who's bringing him in, which I'm not surprised.
I'm good with that. He should go straight to the main roster there.
I think so. We've got some stuff about maybe NXT India, maybe not. I don't know. The WWE Network is no longer available in India.
No, it's available. It's just not available in its current format. You have to go through your network, through your like cable. I don't know what they have over there.
It's Sony.
They have to go through Sony Live, right?
Sony 10.1, or I think Sony 10.3, one of those kind of things. I think it's the name of it. Where they got to go through that or whatever. It's not like the regular WWE Network, which would seem like it's kind of a bad time to start something like an NXT India if that's the case. But maybe that's actually part of the deal.
Plenty of countries do the network different than we do it. Canada has it through their cable provider. It's just like a TV channel.
How do you get to select things?
You don't. They give you the live feed. Or I guess on the internet you can sign in, but you have to sign in through your cable provider. Kind of like we do with HBO.
No, I guess if they do it like that, then that's another thing. But it's still kind of a shame that it wouldn't be the same as what it should be,
Right.
But maybe there's something up there. Maybe the fact that this is changing, maybe there is more confirmation of NXT India. And maybe this was part of the deal of like, well, you do this deal, switch it over, give us a show, do that, Wouldn't be shocked.
I also want to touch on how Jeff Jarrett is heavily involved with whatever this India project is, and he's the guy to do it.
I didn't know that.
He gave us Rinka King. You remember Rinka King?
Rinka King.
Rinka King.
I've liked saying it more than I know anything about it because I keep saying it as Rinka King, which sounds like it's like a character in like a Donkey Kong Country or something. Like, because there's all like the King K. Rool, whatever. There's King K. Rool and Rinka King. What does Rinka King stand for? King of the Ring, right?
I think so.
The Ring's King or something. The Ring
Or
King.
yeah, King of the Ring. Or yeah, Ring. Alexa, stop.
It's gonna tell you that there's multiple devices named Rinka King. Yeah, so WWE Network in India, something to watch out for a little bit. Let's talk about some of the stuff that happened on Monday Night Raw. In particular, the Legends Night stuff was kind of all over the place. We had this Hulk Hogan H-phone thing. Why? What?
No, not what. Why?
How? When? Who?
Hulk Hogan.
That was a terrible opening. Just so stupid. We did a whole thing with
next week, same age time, same age channel.
We had a whole thing with the New Day and Miss TV and whatever. Teddy Long comes out and he's like, you know, we're gonna settle this right now because you're gonna go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
They have fully embraced that.
I like it. And then he sets up a tag team match player. I like when Teddy comes out and does that kind of stuff.
Me too.
Orton with Charlie Caruso, Alexa Bliss, blah blah blah.
Take this slow. Take it slow. The man said he was mad at himself for not lighting a human on fire, and that he was going to find some old friends, and I don't know, potentially light them on fire.
Well, at that point, I was like, well, you just gotta burn up Ric Flair then, you know, like just set him on fire.
Well, no, I think Ric Flair's got enough alcohol in him through the years that he shouldn't be near fire.
You know how we joke all the time that Flair pretty much like all you have to do is look at him and he's going to start either crying or bleeding?
Yeah.
Maybe he just looks at him and he just spontaneously combusts. I listened to a podcast about spontaneous combustion last night. It doesn't happen. I don't know why these people think that that's a thing. People are like, there's a case, I forget the name of it. I'm going on a sidebar here, but I'm sure you guys will find it funny. There's a case where somebody was like, yeah, and this person just started breathing fire like a dragon. It's like, no, they didn't. They were not sitting on their chair doing nothing, and then they turned into a goddamn thing from Lord of the Rings. Like,
don't let facts get in the way of a good story, Tony.
I guess, though, if that's a way to go, you know. You know, what happened to Bill? I turned into a dragon.
Sweet.
Oh, man, I thought he got a car accident. It's kind of like, nah, dragon.
I like the Randy stuff.
Yeah, Randy's great. I love that he's like basically trying to figure out a way to get back to being an evil son of a bitch. Like he bumps into Big Show and he's just like, "Yeah, you want to fight, don't you? You want to kick my ass? Well, I'm gonna kick your ass." And Big Show's like, "Nah." And Randy's just sort of like, "Damn it!" You know, kind of like.
What was with Mark Henry on the scooter? Is he really getting around like that?
I hope not.
Yeah, that made me really sad.
I was assuming that maybe there was some kind of a reason for it that wasn't really like super duper serious. Like maybe he just had some kind of like surgery or something. But I'm hoping that he's not getting around like that because he was on the one side. So maybe he twisted his ankle recently or something, you know.
I like Randy. He should win the Royal Rumble.
Everybody should win the Royal Rumble, right?
Listen.
8 winners of this year's Royal Rumble.
Stone Cold Steve Austin said Randy Orton should win the Royal Rumble. That's a hell of an endorsement.
Should he
He
win
said,
though, or should he be eliminated and nobody knows, and then win and then not win? Yeah.
you know, again, sidebar. Sorry, folks. Steve Austin was interviewed by Ryan Satin, and he talks about like how he's like, yeah, I didn't like Royal Rumbles. They're too chaotic. And he gives an example. He's like, yeah, in 1996, when I was the ringmaster, I was supposed to get a huge push in the Royal Rumble and be one of the final four and then get eliminated by Shawn. And there's so much baby oil in the ring that I just slip and I fall out. And I have to tell Shawn from the floor, hey, I'm out. And he just looks at me like he's seen a ghost. Like, I thought that was really interesting.
You
That
seen a goat?
a ghost. That that Stone Cold Steve Austin, as the ringmaster, was supposed to be one of the final four in the 1996 Royal Rumble.
So the final four that year was Shawn, Diesel, Kama, and Bulldog, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
sure. So I'm
You see
assuming
how-
maybe
you
he
see how it is when we like the stuff, folks.
yeah, because Diesel pushes Kama out.
Right.
Shawn
clotheslines
Bulldog, and then Shawn super
and
kicks
Dio
Diesel.
Super kicks Diesel. Yeah,
It's a good ending. I like that one.
It's a good ending.
Maybe it was supposed to take Bulldog's spot.
Yeah. It didn't. I feel like the one that shouldn't have been there, honestly, was Kama.
Nah, he had to be there. He was a supreme fighting machine.
Yeah, but not at that point. He was just like, "Hey, I'm back. Remember me?"
Yeah, I'm Papa Shango, but not really. Give me that
Exactly.
gold. I want a necklace. I love Royal Rumbles, so Austin's wrong.
But yes, he said Randy Orton should win because he says Randy Orton has never been better and he's really dialed in.
I liked his whole thing throughout this night about approaching these different legends. We'll talk about the Flair thing a little bit later on, but we had another thing with Angel Garza hitting on Alicia Fox, and he bumps into Tatanka and Sergeant Slaughter and Mickey James.
Village people, go ahead.
Very much Village people. Mickey was dressed up like between the two of them, and I still don't get why they're just classifying her as a legend, but
Neither does she.
Tatanka was really looking forward to this. He was posting on social media a lot about like, I got this thing coming up, whatever. So I'm glad that he was able to do that. That's cool.
Yeah. Tatanka's fun. Don't follow him on social media.
He's pretty active on LinkedIn.
Is he? You're the expert at LinkedIn.
I can find a fiance through LinkedIn and Tatanka. Yeah. Styles beat Elias. I don't know if Styles is a babyface at this point. I also don't know.
Bodyguard's name.
Yeah, there you go. I was also gonna say I don't know how to pronounce his name anymore because it was Omos for like 5 weeks.
It's Omos. So
Now it's Amos, I guess.
It's Amos, yeah, Amos.
Despite the fact that it's OMOS, so Amos should be AMAS.
Well, you can't tell people how to pronounce their names. If he says it's Amos, it's Amos.
Nah, he's wrong.
Oh, well, it's
Omos.
There you go.
Because if you add the L in there, you got like Edward James Olmos. So it's got to be Omos.
Okay.
That's a justification. And Almas. Andrade Cien Almas. You get rid of the L and it's Almas. He
doesn't have a last name anywhere.
No, practically nobody does. Technically speaking, is Omos or Amos, is that his first or last name? We don't know.
Madonna.
Mysteries. So it's Amos now, I guess. He did a cool thing where Riker was trying to hit him with the guitar and he just kicks it. I like that.
I like him. I wish he's in the Rumble.
That'd be cool. I'd be down for him coming in, eliminating a couple people, then having multiple people team up to get him out.
Including Styles, who will do the Shawn Michaels Diesel.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to eliminate you, I'm so sorry.
Be like, no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I didn't do that.
I clearly kicked you, but it wasn't me. I was yelling.
Right. Flair says she's in the Royal Rumble. Check the Royal Rumble stat thing. You'll see the current people and the predictions. Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce beat Asuka and Charlotte Flair because there's a thing with Rick where he's trying to trip Peyton Royce, and instead he just flat out trips Charlotte.
Well, he's mad at Charlotte because Charlotte was cock blocking him.
That was poorly done.
That was
And then they
odd.
did the thing that they've done like
Every
8
single
times
time.
now.
Every single time.
They just have Charlotte yell at Rick, and Rick look really upset every time they're together.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
They don't need to do it. I
They
guess they want to establish that Charlotte's a bitch.
like once.
Or not a bitch. A villain. Charlotte's not a bitch. I'm sorry, Charlotte.
Well, now it's like she's not supposed to have turned heel, yet she yells at Ric Flair. I don't know. Like this whole thing felt like it was. This isn't the only thing on the episode too, but this whole thing felt like it was like somebody had a different idea, and they went with half the other script.
I'm gonna stop you right there because this is nothing compared to the other thing on the show.
Compared to that, no, but it's on the same wavelength of that. It just doesn't make sense, you know. But they got a thing with Sheamus talking to Drew McIntyre and Hulk Hogan, and there's a funny little segment backstage.
I don't skip over that. Drew McIntyre getting along with and embracing the legends, Hulk Hogan included, saying, hey brother, what you gonna do? Thank you for embracing me, Hulk. I embrace you. Go on.
Talking about how this is like, oh wow, that's a great endorsement for Hulk Hogan to be saying that he thinks of me as like a young version of him, and wow, that means a lot. Thank you, Hulkster.
Yeah.
Matt Riddle beats Bobby Lashley, even though Bobby Lashley shouldn't have lost because Riddle was tapping.
Why are they doing this thing with the Hurt Business?
The whole Cedric and Shelton thing, yeah.
All of it. Why are you breaking them up?
Lucha House Party beats them, and they're like Shelton and Cedric are arguing. So these guys are doing great, and they're like,
everybody so clearly said, "This is it. Everybody loves this."
Mm-hmm. And Vince is just like, well, damn it, we can't keep tag teams. It's like, why not? Because, damn it. Yeah, I don't know. It makes no sense. Baszler takes out Mandy Rose before a match, so Dana Brooke can fight her for the second time in a row, and Dana Brooke wins in like a minute.
Awful.
That was just a
Actually,
weird.
I shouldn't say awful. At least they're trying with them.
It's just weird. I didn't like that. And it's not a shot at Dana Brooke. I just didn't like how they did this. Like, none of this really seemed like it was the right way to go for me. Angel Garza's chatting up with Tori Wilson and Nikki Cross backstage. Nikki Cross looking very tiny. Tori Wilson looking really tall.
Tori Wilson looks very tall. And that's Miss America right there.
She points out that Cardi B's in the other room.
No. She said she brought Cardi B, and she mentioned 2 other people, but nobody remembers anybody about Cardi B at this point. Angel Garza, like a moron, goes round the corner and delivers a Cardi B? Like, oh, are you in here? Famous rapper Cardi B that nobody would be crowding around? And it's the fucking boogeyman.
Of course.
And he goes running away. And of course he runs into R-Truth, who rolls him up. That's 46 for R-Truth. 46 times 24/7 champion.
Jesus Christ, 46?
And
now there's a record that's never going to be broken. Nobody else is ever going to win any particular championship as many times as R-Truth is winning this.
I don't like that they made Garza look so dumb. Like,
my biggest issue is you have all of these legends, and the only 24/7 championship title change you have is R-Truth.
Right.
You couldn't have given a belt to Tatanka. You couldn't have given a belt to Sergeant Slaughter or Mickey. She should be a part of the roster anyway, but you know, like maybe it could have been like Garza's flirting around with Alicia Fox, and Fox kicks him in the head and pins him.
I want to see Melina and Alicia Fox get in the ring.
Speaking of Melina, I thought she wasn't coming back.
Well, we
I
won't
seem to
know.
remember somebody complaining about, oh, I'm not coming back, and whatever. It's like, come on, Tamina, Melina. Why am I going to blame Tamina for that? Come on, Tamina. Why is Melina saying this? Yeah, I hate when people do that. Like, oh, he's not Khan in this movie. Oh, the Marion Cotillard, she's not playing that character in The Dark Knight Rises. Yes, they are. Come on. And it's like, Melina, you're coming back. We know it. And then she pops up, and it's like, yeah, we knew it.
Yeah.
Now, I like Melina. I'm glad to see her back into the fold in some fashion. I'd be cool with her popping up in NXT in this women's tag team classic. Maybe tag her with like Martinez. That'd be cool.
You keep trying. Martinez is getting the belt.
Do you think she's actually beating her?
Oh yeah.
I think they're saving that for Toni Storm.
Oh no, Martinez is beating her.
I'd be cool with it. I like Martinez.
Yeah, and Melina, if she shows up in the Rumble, then okay, I think she's back. But for now, maybe it was just a one-off.
And she should be in the Rumble. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
Do the split. I was going to say get a pop, but can't. No fans in attendance
Should
anymore.
Get a unanimous pop.
Should get a pop at home. People at home would be like, yeah, Melina, cool. And then we go to Keith Lee having a good fight against Drew McIntyre, but coming up short. So
I thought for a fact that he was winning this belt.
I didn't think he had a chance.
The legends are on the stage, and I'm like, why would you have Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and all of them out there with, a raging pandemic in the air, unless they're going to be out there for a major moment? And no, Keith Lee lost, but we did get a major moment, Tony.
Well, Goldberg comes out, and for some reason, he's like, yeah, you're being real disrespectful to all these legends, you asshole. What's with all this shit that you're talking about, that you don't trust any of them to get the job done anymore, and that you could beat them all up and what? Not a single thing that Drew McIntyre even implied, let alone didn't say. They have him in one segment with a legend, and it's all about how like he respects him and reveres him. And Goldberg's like, yeah, you ungrateful bastard. It's like, who the hell wrote this?
Awful.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I think McIntyre was supposed to cut a promo at some point that would have given itself to that.
And that is a terrible idea as it is. You don't have Drew McIntyre go, yeah, but you know what? I'm better than all these legends. You don't turn that guy heel right now.
Well, I told you that they were going to. I thought they would wait for fans to turn him, because the fans would be like, all right, we're over you. But no, they're just going to turn him.
I thought that this was so bad.
He can cut the same promo. Oh, I'm carrying this company on my back during a pandemic, and how do they repay me? They bring out a bunch of hobbled out legends. You could do it. He just didn't do it. And it made Goldberg look like a dick. Because he's just like, yeah, bitch, I'm challenging you. What? Like, let's go.
It's kind of like, oh, I heard what you said. Oh, I didn't say anything. Oh, I heard what you were thinking about saying. Absolutely terrible. It doesn't make any sense. Like, just pure logic. Not even the whole, like, why is Goldberg going to fight Drew McIntyre instead of Goldberg versus Roman Reigns or whatever? But this seems like that's going to take that out of the equation. So, hey, look at that. We're not going to get Goldberg and Reigns at WrestleMania. I am really worried that we're going to get Goldberg versus somebody else at WrestleMania, though, now.
Well, is there a better match for the Thunderdome than Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar?
If they give this title to Goldberg, I'm going to be so pissed.
Wait, will you quit watching?
I don't know.
If they just run back Goldberg versus Lesnar, would you just stop?
If this ends up being like, I'll put it out there now. If the night of the Royal Rumble, they have Drew McIntyre drop the title to Goldberg, and then Brock Lesnar comes in and wins the Royal Rumble, we're not doing a post show. I will be too pissed. Or maybe that's a perfect reason to do one where I just be like,
So I have my own theory.
2021's worse than 2020, guys. Like, you know, that's kind of.
So I have my own theory. I think Drew McIntyre is dropping the belt, and I think there's a good chance it's Goldberg versus Reigns, and we're merging the belts. Don't take this away from me, Tony. We're merging the belts. That's what we're doing, okay? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna merge the belts. Goldberg, Reigns, merge.
I'm hoping it's just McIntyre beats him.
But everybody keeps saying that. What on God's green earth makes you think that Drew McIntyre is just gonna cleanly beat this man?
I don't say I think, I'm hoping.
Like, let's go through this. Goldberg has done 2 jobs clean. One was to Lesnar after he embarrassed him twice, and the other one was to The Undertaker.
Braun Strowman.
That doesn't count. It doesn't count. It wasn't supposed to be Braun Strowman. Doesn't count. Okay? Thank you.
Maybe what they want to set up is Keith Lee beats Goldberg. How crazy would it be if it's Matt Riddle? Like,
you know what? If, you know, I'd be okay with it. Just
if they have Matt Riddle beat Goldberg at WrestleMania, I'll be okay with Goldberg winning that title.
I feel bad for Drew, but
right.
I think that's a good match.
But this was just so poorly done. They didn't need to do this little stupid angle, too. Like, they could have very easily just had Goldberg come out and be like, you know, a lot of the legends are out here tonight. I'm a legend. You know, I still think I've got something left in the tank. What do you say? You give me a shot at that belt.
The weirdest thing is, Tony, it's Goldberg. He's got the easiest outs. All he had to do was go, pop up, smile on his face. Drew McIntyre respectfully hands him the mic, and he's just laughing. And he just goes, "You're next, Spear."
Yeah.
That's it. We're out.
Instead, he's just like, yeah, that shit that you didn't say.
Instead, he decides to have dialogue. Like,
and he already had a red dot on his head. I'm like, did he hit his head backstage?
Yeah. He did not need to pump himself up for that.
God, so bad. That whole thing. And then what comes out of this a little bit is there's some stuff about Cardi B and Lacey Evans afterward.
Yeah, Cardi B was having a good time with the fact that she was trending due to WWE, and she's asking like, "What's going on?" And they explain it, and she's like, "Yeah, I was a huge fan of like Batista and Melina and John Cena and like all the Ruthless Aggression people." And she was like, I think Trish said some cool stuff, and she's like, "Oh my God, thank you." Melina said something cool, and she's like, "Yeah, I remember you and those 2 guys, one of whom was on television."
Yeah. And looks exactly the same as he did back then, so you can't even like be like,
if not better. Like,
right.
So then she said something funny to Vince because I guess she saw the boogeyman thing, and she's like, "Oh, hell no, that's who you have pretending to be me. Vince, you better count your days." I thought that was funny. And then Wale was like, "Just agree to do WrestleMania. They'll pay you." And she's like, "Fuck yeah, I'll come get a check." And Lacey Evans said something, and she was like, "Listen here, I'm not afraid of no white woman. You better knock it the fuck off," or something to that effect. And they had a nice little back and forth. And
Evans said something like, you know, "Oh, you better, you might get what you wish for," or, you know,
something
slap
like,
you silly or something. I don't know.
I'm no Nicki Minaj or something. Like, listen, this area of pop culture is not my thing. But I think Cardi B at WrestleMania is a lock.
Lacey Evans had said, "Careful what you wish for, you nasty. We aren't Nicki Minaj. You'll get sent home with more than a busted eye."
And she was just like, "Listen here, white woman."
And she said, "A white woman can't never put fear on me, sweetie. Got me fucked up. I was showing love to WWE the whole night yesterday. I don't know where the fuck you came with your unnecessary bullshit." And then Lacey responded, "Oh, bless your heart, Cardi B. You got it all wrong. I heard debut and was giving you a friendly heads up. But since you want to be a badass, keep me in mind when or if you show up to WWE. I'll kick your ass while listening to your music." Like,
Fuck
they
it.
talked about Lacey Evans being like this great Twitter person, and we were like, I haven't really seen any of that. I kind of like that.
That was good.
Like
Fuck it.
I'll listen to your music and kick your ass at the same time, whatever. Like, all right. I don't
I'll
want
watch
to
Cardi
see it
B. Why not?
because
Fuck it.
I don't care about we got the celebrity to come in and pretend like they're a badass.
Neither do I, but at least this is a celebrity who's legitimately on top of the charts.
I also just don't really like Cardi B.
I understood, but that point aside, this is a celebrity who's legitimately on top of the charts.
It would get them media coverage, that's for sure.
It's better than Gronk.
Maybe she can win the 24/7 title. Maybe she'll actually take a jump.
She'll keep it. Fuck, she can keep it for like air. Like, I'm all for it though.
Anything happen on Dynamite that we need to talk about?
Is that a real question?
Any kind of
you go,
any kind of big things, any kind of like reunions of any kind.
It's funny that you should mention it. So
it's a Team Taz.
It was the middle of the show, and Sting came out, and Tony Schiavone said it's Sting, and that was a reunion.
I mean, most of the stuff we don't need to talk about. Young Bucks and SCU beat the Acclaimed in TH2. Wardlow beats Jake Hager. I thought that was kind of fun.
Well, I thought it was interesting that the Acclaimed had a great line. I haven't liked a lot of their raps.
Yeah, me neither.
I thought they had a really good. I think it was Max Caster who said, "You say we're the John Cena boys, and that's so petty. But we're John Cena, while the Young Bucks are Janettis."
Yeah,
like, yeah.
I like that. That's probably the best line that they've had so far.
It's like, all right, that's good.
We got like some silly stuff that's like Truck Taylor is gonna be Miro's young boy if he loses the match next week, and
which is fine.
There was a weigh-in. Brian Cage is 100 pounds heavier than Darby Allin.
I liked it because Taz was like, he's still not even that. He's got all that heavy shit on. I like that.
Snoop Dogg did a jump, kind of.
It was fucking awful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Seems like they might go in that Chaos Project Matt Sydal thing.
Third Eye Blind.
I love that name. Ty Conchi is going to fight Serena Deeb for the NWA Women's Championship. Garcia.
Give her the belt. She's earned it. She deserves it. Give her the belt.
Shida beat Abaddon. And Omega beat Rey Fenix.
And that was the end of the show.
So SmackDown was... No, people would be like, no, you didn't talk about it.
All right, so Jon Moxley, you did the same thing Sean did. You skipped over Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley gets a promo early in the night. He says, listen, I'm not going to bitch, I'm not going to moan, but one day you will have to answer to me. He comes out with the barbed wire baseball bat, hits Omega in the rib cage.
The bread basket.
In the bread basket.
Always like that.
Scares Don Callis off, and out come Gallows and Anderson, the Impact Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers, 2 OG members of Bullet Club. And they get the better of Moxley. Kenny gets up. For some reason, after a very long time, the Varsity Blondes, Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison, decide they want to be heroes. And at that point, out come the Young Bucks. And you know where this is going as soon as the Young Bucks are here. Yeah. I at least thought they're going to tease it. They're not going to like all be friends. Because they're going to be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing anyway? You're being assholes. No. They immediately, they super kick Griff Garrison for even touching Kenny Omega. And then, which I thought they weren't allowed to do, they stood in the middle of the ring and did the Too Sweet. And then put out Too Sweet merchandise.
Yeah, so it's they can't be Bullet Club.
That they can't be because it's owned by New Japan.
That's New Japan, yeah. But they can be whatever they want to call themselves. They can be, hey, we all know that these guys are the Bullet Club, which is basically what it is. I thought it was kind of funny that they were like, "Oh, is the band getting back together?" It's like I'm pretty sure that they can't call themselves the band either
I was
because
like, don't do the band. They probably can. I'm sure that they don't own that.
Impact might still own it. I don't know.
No, they don't fucking own anything, Tony. Come on.
They never roll over, so you know.
I didn't like that though, because I didn't like the band name for the NWO.
Mm-mm. It's
Like,
not a
don't
good
call them.
stable name.
Just call them the Elite. Call them the boy. You call them the fucking boys. Call them the boys, and I think like we'll understand. You know. The important thing is we now have a 5-man team for Blood and Guts.
Well, what would it be? It would be Young Bucks, Good Brothers, and Omega against.
Anybody. We have a 5-person faction for Blood and Guts, and I like it.
I want to see where they're going. I like the idea that this is happening. I've said before, I just want Impact to just merge. Like,
I'm a big fan of
just get rid of
merging.
it. You know, do the same with some other things too if you can. Like, but I like that they are doing that because like it's people talking. You know.
I'm a big fan of merging.
So then there's SmackDown, and with SmackDown we got Big E and Apollo Crews do a double pinfall draw. And Apollo Crews is like, well, what the hell? I want another match right now. Slaps Big E. Big E's like, all right, here you go. And beats him by pinfall. So I like that. Thought that was kind of neat.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's awesome. You know, Big E
And
deserves to be a solid champion.
we got, at the beginning of the show, 21 minutes worth of Roman Reigns complaining about Adam Pearce having booked a gauntlet match for the number one contender spot and for getting into the whole thing with Kevin Owens last week. And he says, you know, do you think I'm stupid? Are you stupid? You call Vince McMahon stupid? Well, that must mean you think I'm stupid and all this other kind of stuff. I liked it. I just thought that, you know, I don't think that these things need to start off for 20 minutes worth of talking.
As long as it's Roman, do it.
He meaning Adam Rose. Adam Rose. Wow, Adam Rose. Why the hell did I go with Adam Rose?
Well,
When's the last time I talked about Adam Rose? 4 years ago, maybe.
Don't be a lemon. Be a mango.
Jeez, Adam Rose, like not Adam Cole. You know.
No, I guess Adam Rose.
So Adam Pearce has a new assistant, Sonya Deville.
So, I personally am offended for Billy Kay.
Yeah, she should have been that role.
I know what it's like to go to that job interview and to have your resume and to have your headshot, and somebody else who did not have any of that stuff just gets the job. So I'm offended for Billy. But I'll have to let it die because I do like Sonya Deville.
Well, Billy Kay may be a new member of the Riot Squad because she cried and convinced them to kind of go along with her a little bit. She has a mosh pit expert on her resume now.
I love it. Everything about Billy Kay is so good.
Yeah, I like Billy Kay.
And then I worry they're gonna run it into the ground.
Yeah, they will.
Because they did it with Otis. Otis was fun. It's okay. It's a ham. And then they ran that into the ground.
Maybe Billy Kay can apply to be a ham.
I think Billy Kay is showing that she's a ham.
I like it. That's good. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, those dirty dogs, them. They are the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Why?
The dirty dogs caught a bone, and now those dirty dogs will be buried along with that bone. I'll tell you why. You want to know why? Because the Street Profits have had the tag titles for a year. And you got to drop it to somebody to be able to make them getting it back anything that's interesting.
I can't. Maybe they go with the Ray and Dominic thing now. But I was just like, wow, man, Street Profits versus Usos makes perfect sense for WrestleMania.
You never know. There's still a lot of time to go.
And if they give it back to the Street Profits, it's like, well, why'd you take it off to begin with? Just to waste time. I don't like it.
It doesn't matter. They can hot potato. They can hot potato any belt, really. But these belts especially, because they're the fucking tag titles. Nobody cares.
It's a shame. Then we got the gauntlet match. Sami Zayn immediately gets eliminated by Rey Mysterio, who loses to Shinsuke Nakamura.
I want to put out there, when I saw this gauntlet match announced, I had two questions. I had two immediate thoughts. One was, why is Daniel Bryan in this match?
Me too.
When he was announced for the Rumble. And the second was, I guess Rey Mysterio is going to Royal Rumble.
That's what I thought too. And by this point, Roman Reigns and everybody had figured out they're going to put Adam Pearce in the match. So I'm like, all right, well, Adam Pearce has to win now. And Nakamura goes on a tear. He beats Rey Mysterio, he beats King Corbin, and he beats Daniel Bryan. They shake hands afterwards, so maybe they're going to turn Nakamura babyface. I don't know. And Reigns and Uso come out with Adam Pearce, and they attack Nakamura, super kick Pearce, place him on top of him, and it's like, there you go. Now you beat Nakamura, and now you're fighting Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble. I liked it.
I like it a lot. Adam Pearce deserves this.
I also liked that it wasn't Daniel Bryan that they beat at the end, because that would have been too easy. Because then it's like, oh, he would have been the number one contender, so now he has to win the Royal Rumble instead. And remember when you did that to me, that was a shitty thing for you to do, whatever. I liked that they gave a random spot to Nakamura, because by the time he eliminates two people and then he beats Daniel Bryan, you're like, oh shit, Nakamura, look at that.
I like it.
Big fan.
Big fan.
So we're getting Goldberg against McIntyre and Adam Pearce against Roman Reigns. Huh.
You know what? I'm interested.
Yeah. Gotta say that. They got me intrigued.
At this point, I prefer that to everything else. Intrigue is important.
There's 4 matches on the card, and all 4 matches are ones that I'm interested in seeing. And even though 3 of them, not 4 of them, 3 of them have matches that I'm like, I don't know who's going to win that. The 4th one, obviously, Adam Pearce is not winning the championship, but that's not the story. The story isn't, can Adam Pearce win the title? It's like, no, what's going on with Roman beating the shit out of Adam Pearce, you know? I don't think I've seen a single Adam Pearce match. Now I'm thinking about it.
You should look it up. Adam Pearce, former NWA World Champion. Adam Pearce is awesome, and I'm excited.
It's got my thumbs up, my seal of approval. There's the hot tags. I think that's it. Unless they trademark something else in the meantime.
No. Are you sure we're not forgetting something?
I kind of feel like we are, but no, I don't think so. New SmackDown Tag Champs. India, Jay White, Dusty Rhodes, TakeOver, TNT title, Tarzan Boy, trademarks. I think that's it. We ran through quite a bit, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you've got some opinions about some of these things too, and that you're dropping them in the comments below, typing them out, letting us know what your thoughts are. Obviously, if you want to stay tuned and listen to the next round of hot tags for anything else that's going to happen over the next few days, that'll be coming up next week. And in the meantime, that's going to switch over to some other different things we've got going on, because the next thing you're going to be hearing from us is going to be the next episode of the Paul Heyman SmackDown podcast. That's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, so this is the January 9th edition. This is the wedding of Dawn Marie Allison, because Lord help us, we need a wedding. And we get more advancement of Team Angle and what's going on with Brock Lesnar leading up to the 2003 Royal Rumble, which will be coming to your Patreon feeds very soon, and might even feature Tony.
Very much might. Started watching that.
Very good.
We both were thinking that the other one was going to start talking then. We're both like, oh, he's talking. Oh, wait, no, he's not.
Well, there you go.
So where else can they follow you guys?
Well, not. Yeah, I guess I could tell you where to follow Callum. Callum is at Wigmeister14. He's a good Twitter follow. Doesn't tweet a lot, but when he does, it's good. I'm at Dude Felice. I'm getting a lot of followers. Like, I'm almost at 800, and I think at the start of last year I was at like 2 and change. So it's been a big year. And check me out there. Check me out on Fightful.com, Fightful Gaming, Fightful Scraps, Fightful Select. Sean has updates about supposed heat with Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle. Sean has updates that we'll be talking about on this very podcast next week because Fightful Select has all the good updates. And yeah, that's it for me.
I got plenty of stuff happening right now. Obviously, fanboysanonymous.com is a place where you'll find all the things that are not the pro wrestling stuff.
We're bringing it back to life, Tony.
Basically, we are with the way that we've been doing all these different things. So recently, we've done a couple different podcasts, and I've got some other stuff that we are working on to come up in the future. I know that we're going to try to do we are going to do, let's put it that way. We're going to do something for the Batman Soul of the Dragon movie that's coming out. We recently did a review point for Pixar's Soul. We did the one for Wonder Woman. If you didn't check that out recently, I got the 6 Flicks picks up for the year, assuming things get released the way that they're supposed to be released. It's coming up soon. We got WandaVision, so we're going to get into that as that series goes on.
We're watching. Can we say what we're watching? Thanks to Patreon sponsorship.
Yeah,
we're watching Mulan,
the original.
The original. Hell yeah! Like, I was talking to Callum about this. Callum was very surprised that you have not seen this movie, and yeah, hell yeah, we're gonna watch some Mulan. We're gonna sing some songs. You know, it's gonna be a good time. I'm all for more Disney properties in 2021.
Might not be singing for the copyright infringement thing.
Well, poo.
But that stuff's going to happen over on fanboysanonymous.com, so check that out if you are interested in any of those things. Any of the stuff on the movie and video game and TV and comic book side of things, you'll find over on there. Check out the merchandise shops that happened on that. Follow the Facebook and Twitter accounts all over the place, the fanboy stuff and the Smark Out Moment stuff. Go to the Spotify and the Amazon Music pages and everything that's happening there. If you're listening to that, hit us give us a follow or a like or a star rating or whatever is happening on those sides of things. Check out eWrestling News and Bleacher Report for different articles that I've got up, which you could always find on my Twitter at Tony Mango that you should be following if you're on Twitter. Check out the Facebook pages and just kind of stay tuned because there's lots of stuff happening. Too many things to keep track of for even me to plug. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. 475 is in the bag, and we will talk to you next time with probably the fan announce table of the 1991 Royal Rumble, and then the mailbag, and then the Royal Rumble predictions. So that's coming up.
All right. That's exciting, man.
Some good stuff coming your way.
Yeah.
That's it for this edition, though. Thank you for listening to this, everybody. This has been another Smark Out Moment, and we're being counted out.